Some fascinating articles you've shared about Elon Musk, and wouldn't you know it, another clash with the SEC. This time, it's all about that Twitter takeover, and some questions the SEC wants to ask him under oath.
Yeah, and that's where things get really interesting. The SEC isn't just on a fishing expedition. They're trying to figure out if Musk broke any securities laws, especially anything around market manipulation, or even just transparency when he was in the process of buying Twitter, or X, as we should probably call it now.
Right, right. So we've got this investigation going on in the background already. And to get to the bottom of it, a judge ordered Musk to testify, which, that's pretty serious stuff. It's a legal order. But instead of showing up in court, well, Musk kind of did what Musk does, right?
He sure did. Yeah, cancels at the last minute saying he's needed for a SpaceX launch. And look, I'm sure those launches are complicated, lots of moving parts, but the SEC doesn't see it just as a scheduling problem. It comes across as disrespect for the whole court process, a waste of everyone's time and money. And it really makes you wonder, does Musk even think the rules apply to him?
And I'm guessing from the SEC's reaction, they weren't too happy about it.
Not even a little bit.
What'd they say?
They actually use the word gamesmanship in the article, talking about Musk's excuse.
Gamesmanship? Ouch.
Yeah, they even quoted the SEC's actual filing, which says, Musk's excuse itself smacks of gamesmanship. SpaceX had already announced that it was targeting a Tuesday morning launch 2 days earlier.
So they basically saw right through it.
Oh, absolutely. And that quote tells you everything you need to know about how frustrated they are, This isn't just about him not showing up to testify. This is about a pattern of behavior they're calling out.
This isn't Musk's first run-in with the SEC, though, is it? I feel like we've seen this all before.
Yeah, you're right to remember that.
Maybe not with his SpaceX-sized excuse last time.
Right. Well, 2018 is important here, right? That's when he made that tweet about funding secured to take Tesla private.
Oh, yeah.
That's key to understanding why this latest clash with the SEC is such a big deal.
Right.
I mean, that tweet, that single tweet, it sent shockwaves through the market.
It really did. Yeah, it did. Remind me about what happened, though. Like, what were the consequences for Musk back then?
Well, the SEC sued him.
Okay, makes sense.
Which is a huge EE deal, right?
Right.
That's serious stuff in the financial world.
Right, misleading investors. Yeah.
Exactly. So they eventually settled, but it wasn't cheap, let me tell you. Huge fines for both Musk personally and Tesla as a company.
Wow.
Oh, and he had to step down at least for a bit as Tesla's chairman.
Really?
Yeah, and get this, he had to agree to have his tweets, well, at least the Tesla-related ones, monitored by the company's own lawyers.
Whoa. Hold on. Monitored tweets. That's something else.
It is, isn't it?
So what are we thinking now? I mean, what could the SEC even do this time?
Well, that's the thing, right? Back then, that settlement, it was a big deal. Everyone saw it as like a shot across the bow that even someone as rich and powerful as Musk, you can't just tweet whatever you like. There are consequences.
Right.
But this time, I don't know, it feels different,
Yeah. The SEC seems to be taking a much harder line.
You think so? So what, the stakes are higher now?
Yeah, potentially, for sure. I think the SEC is really trying to send a message, like, we're not backing down.
Yeah.
And, they're going to be looking at his track record, right?
Yeah.
So will it be another fine, or could they go further this time? Maybe something that limits his control, within his own companies.
Wow. This feels bigger than just one missed court date, even bigger than just Elon Musk,
Yeah. And
this feels like a whole bigger thing.
It does, yeah. On the one hand, we have Elon Musk, right? Like this almost mythical innovator changing tech, changing everything, really. And on the other, you've got the SEC. Their whole job is to keep things stable in the markets, protect everyday investors. So, like, these two are bound to clash eventually, right? It's like, what's that saying?
Oh, you mean the unstoppable force and the immovable object.
Yeah, exactly. But for those of us listening who, maybe aren't launching rockets into space every week, what's the takeaway here? What does this whole case actually say about, about innovation and rules?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
This isn't just a Silicon Valley soap opera, This case brings up some really important stuff about how we deal with these massive tech companies, how much power they have, and the responsibility that comes with, disrupting entire industries. And at the end of the day, it's about whether the rules apply to everyone, even someone like Elon Musk.
Which is what makes this whole thing so fascinating, right?
Absolutely.
It's about accountability. It's about what happens to tech and the rules around it moving forward. And what message does this send to other CEOs, the ones pushing the limits, just like Musk?
Right. Will this be the time someone finally reins him in?
Or will he just, write his own rules again?
Good question.
Guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, only time will tell.
Definitely something we'll be keeping an eye on, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Thanks for taking a deep dive into this with me.
Anytime. Always a pleasure.
And everyone listening, make sure to check out the show notes for all the sources we talked about today. Until next time.